Hi, this is Marlene Dodge, and this is my Module 5, Understanding My Community, which is Ulysses High School, USD 214. For the Sociological Inventory, you look at all the aspects of a school. For instance, we start with customs and traditions. We are a very school-centered community. Everything centers around sports, clubs, academics, summer activities, which include 4-H, FFA, rec sports, and swim teams. We're a pretty big community of hunting and rodeo. We have parades at set times every year. Main Street events. I think there's been the same Main Street events every year since I've been here, which it's been 10 years now. Then also the things that really shape our community are our schools, our club involvement, and churches. We have 27 churches in Ulysses, and they greatly affect the decisions that are made in the schools and throughout the community. Our churches do seem to be a bit culturally divided, but I think that's mainly because of people wanting to go to mass or services that are in their own language. And so as far as how change is handled in our community, it is handled extremely slowly. Everything in our town happens very slowly. Change is not welcomed or accepted easily. Parents will scream pretty loud if traditions are altered without total consent. Population characteristics, our education level. We're at 74.6 high school grad or higher, 14.1 bachelor's degree or higher. Median age is 31.7, so we're pretty young. The sex is pretty evenly distributed with 51% male, 49% female, and then our races were pretty split with 51% Hispanic, 48% white. As far as our occupations go, we're mainly agricultural, feedlots, farming, seaboard pig farms, dairy farms, meat packing plants. Those are huge employers out here. Following that are schools and High Plains Education Cooperative. Then we have restaurants, county jobs, banking, gas, oil, and helium companies, although gas and oil really decreased as far as an industry in southwestern Kansas. And then Pioneer Communications and Pioneer Electric are huge employers. Communication channels, we have a great school website. I think they do a really good job with it. They tie Facebook and Twitter in with it. And that's where a lot of people, all our parents know that they can go to that website and get information that's pretty current and up to date, especially with all the COVID-19. We've done a really good job. We have a local radio station that's run by Bob Dale. He's been in Ulysses for a really long time, so he's got a good grasp on the community. It's Cooley 1420, and he has also just been appointed as the economic development, the head of economic development in Grant County. So he's a great resource for communication. We have a weekly newspaper that does an awful lot of stuff for our schools. I think we still need to get a better grasp on how to get information out to Spanish-speaking families. But as far as where people mainly get their news, social media, but word of mouth by far is one of the places that people get most of their information. Once one person reads it in a small town, everybody finds out about it pretty quickly. Community groups, we have School Board, High Plains Educational Cooperative, Teachers and Staff, Compass Behavioral Health, which works with us with mental health a great deal with our schools. Mexican Ministries, they help with any kind of poverty. Lions Club, Rotary Club, Big Orange Boosters, again, 27 churches, and then we have an outstanding community rec center. Leadership, our school board, superintendent, assistant superintendent, principal, vice principals, AD, DLT, BLT, lead teachers, PTA, community members, and parents. Our school board is very much influenced by parents and community input, as well as our superintendent and principal input. Our superintendent, he's influenced a lot by money constraints and his needs within his schools, laws, policies. Principals are influenced by parents, community, superintendents, teachers. And then our DLT and BLT lately, our big focus has been on KISA goals. And so we're mainly focused by policies and how to create an action plan for our school that teachers and administrators can carry out. Community leaders and characteristics. A lot of our community leaders have a great deal of experience. They've invested a lot of time into the community, whether it's school related or community related. They usually have ties to the community. They were either born here or they've lived here a great amount of time, and they come from all kinds of backgrounds. A lot of times, because of the amount of time they've been in the community, they have a great deal of influence and credibility. When you make pretty sound and good decisions in a small town and you end up in those positions of power, and you end up as a leader in a community, it's because of those decisions that you've made. Poor decision making doesn't let you hang around in a high position very long. Economic conditions. Our median household income is below our Kansas average. Poverty is also below. It's at 9.6. Our Kansas rate is 12.4. Most students have transportation to school. If they don't, we find a way. On average, there's about 3 people in every household. It's pretty difficult in Ulysses to find housing. There aren't new houses being built. The median home value is $101,900. We have a very small veteran population, and I don't know if that's due to the fact that our median age is 31. And gas and oil jobs, again, they've diminished. With gas and oil jobs diminishing, our revenue for schools decreased as well. And property taxes have increased to make up for that. With our political structure, we have a pretty conservative community with but very liberal school employees, a lot of them. So we do get a bit of a mix of viewpoints within the school. We have a mayor and 5 city council members, and our city council is made up of a pretty good spread of people. Tim McCauley, he's our mayor. He's also the road commissioner. Kenneth Warner, he's a retired principal from one of our elementary schools. John Duran, Joe Deckard. Sam Guy is a retired science teacher from Ulysses High School. And then there's Tolan Seeger. There's local, state, federal funding. Again, because of our local funding being decreased already, we have to present bond issues and we have to gain support from our community in order to make these changes that we need for the school. So in order to do that, we have to increase property taxes, which oftentimes means more community influence in our decision making. We do have some interracial problems. Some of those interracial problems happen more frequently than others. And Cinco de Mayo is one of the days where it happens. We need to work better at our school to teach kids to accept different cultures and to celebrate differences rather than to get upset when other cultures want to celebrate their heritage. We have very little to no gang problems, a very low crime rate. The biggest thing that we have is theft, but as far as any kind of serious crimes, they're almost non-existent. As far as cliques go, we have cliques, but they're because kids have grown up with each other forever, but they are very mixed. So they're not segregated by any means. Many students feel like there is bias in our schools. A lot of our kids in the ELL program, they feel like they are singled out by teachers. They feel like teachers do not understand them, maybe think they're lazy. And I think that's just a lack of professional development and helping teachers to do better for ELL students. So some of the things we need to look at, again, is that professional development. I think there is some unintentional discrimination going on. And we do have some religious differences that with 27 different churches, they don't always see eye to eye. As far as extra sources of information, we have our district handbook, surveys to families, students, teachers, census data, our Chamber of Commerce to figure out what some of those businesses are that we can coordinate with, and our Board of Education meetings are now online because of COVID-19, as well as the minutes, and City Council agendas and minutes are also online. And there's also a citizen input form to where you can give your input on how things are going in our city. Power structures. Parents have a great deal of influence in our schools. They make a lot of noise. Our businesses have quite a bit of influence. They donate a lot of money. Restaurants have had a great deal of influence on our open lunch policy, to where we have not closed lunches for students because businesses like the revenue that they get. We have our school board members. Our president is Margaret Nightingale. She's a banker. Jim Wilson, he has a crane service. There's Jamie Kreitzer. Clay Scott is a farmer, and he's also on the Water District Management Board. Mike Meyer. Ron Smith is a retired assistant principal at Ulysses High School, and he's also the board of director for High Plains Educational Cooperative, and our position 7 is vacant at this time. So some of our multicultural issues, we have a need for more bilingual employees. We need more poverty simulations. Those are outstanding, and for a while they work and they let people get in the right mindset. But I think we need them more frequently. We need to work on embracing Hispanic cultural differences. We need to improve the use of Title I funds for ELL students, help families to feel more welcome. We do have a music program that includes cultural songs. Our music director does an outstanding job of making all families feel so welcome at those concerts. And then we need to work on incorporating holidays and customs throughout the year, especially figuring out that Cinco de Mayo issue that we have in our school. As far as the power structure goes, Kansas State Department of Education, Board of Education, Superintendent, Assistant Super, Principals, DLT, BLT, PLCs, parents, and students. And measuring public opinion. So we have surveys. We put a lot of surveys out, especially lately. Lots of surveys go out. We try and look at attendance to conferences, attendance to different school events, parent involvement. Those are all things that we try and figure out how the community, how the public is viewing us. We work at the two-way communication more now than we used to. Again, we're working on multicultural issues. It's still a work in progress. We've got our continuous online learning going on at the moment, and we've been putting out lots of surveys to find out what parents think of how we're doing. And we use this to gauge our school effectiveness and collect opinions that are from all different diverse populations. And as far as our public opinion surveys, the way we usually collect those are through Google Forms. I have done so many phone calls lately to get opinions about our online learning. But most surveys have gone out in an online format. We do have very few personal interviews. I almost wish we would have more of those. And then that is it. Thank you very much.